Welcome into the non-neutral zone. It's all about football with Brandon, Josh, and producer Gunner.
Welcome back. So glad that you're joining us today.
Wowzers.
I'm Brandon. I'm here with Josh.
Yeah.
And producer Gunner.
That's me.
PGZ. What's happening? How you feeling this week?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you feeling a little loopy from the quarantines?
Dude, I worked from home this week, and it was the best thing. I loved it so much.
Really? So when you work from
Didn't
home,
have to deal with anybody.
do you still put on work clothes?
No gas. Wearing my pajamas. I didn't shower for like 3 days.
Oh my goodness.
I loved it.
Man.
I work with people like that.
Oh man.
Nice.
I thought something smelled funny over here.
Oh, yeah. I stink.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're back with another episode of Non-Neutral Zone. Before we get started, we just want to remind you where you can find us on Twitter.
Where can you find us?
At Non-Neutral Zone 1. That's at Non-Neutral Zone, the number 1.
We're working with Miss Janice Daniels, though. She's currently sitting on that non-neutral zone.
You're on blast, Janice.
Yeah. I mean, I asked very nicely today. I'm hoping that she at least gives us the courtesy of a response.
Yeah, she's an avid listener.
Yeah. Actually, she's from Michigan, so maybe she is.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michigan.
We appreciate your listenership.
We noticed that our second biggest audience is in Michigan outside of Tennessee, so that's really cool. We
Yeah,
appreciate
so if you guys know Miss Janice Daniels, please let her know. We're trying to get in touch with her.
Yeah, we always want to drop the 1 on our Twitter handle. That'd be great.
She's got non-neutral zone. We've got non-neutral zone 1. We do a swap skis with her, so
Old switcherooski. Yeah.
So what's on the dock today?
So we've got some continued free agent news. If you guys haven't, you should listen to these in sequence. You should go back and listen to the league year extravaganza. Right? Is that what it?
That's a Big Ten port.
There's a special episode
episode that we dropped midweek last week. So this is a continuation of free agency that's happening and trades and whatnot. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to head down to fantasy land for you and do some lightning round, rapid fire, but a lot of fantasy talk here at the end. So we'll kind of break down some of the big stuff going on here early on because there's still some news trickling out and even some news that will probably drop here midweek after we drop the episode. So that's what we got on the docket for today.
That's what we got.
Subscribe.
Just throwing that in there.
Yeah, tell your friends about us if you're enjoying the show.
Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your teacher, tell your boss.
We are growing, and we are grateful for each of you that choose to listen on a regular basis.
Yep. And
shout out to our friends, family, and our future friends that we haven't even met yet for listening. It's fun getting to know you, and we're having a blast doing this football thing, especially. It's been a good opportunity for us to take our mind off the quarantine.
Yeah, the more participation we get from you guys, too, the better the show is. So feel free to reach out to us with your questions.
We will have some mailbag. Yeah, I missed that. Not bad. All right.
And it's good for the spirit, too. It gives us power.
Yep.
Yeah.
It has been fun hanging out with you guys week after week. I look forward to it every week to see you guys.
Yep.
It's great.
Yes.
Samesies.
All right, so... You want to do it?
Let's get to it.
That just happened.
It did just happen, right?
Show enough. What's happening, Gunner?
Not a lot, not much going on. We're just gonna skip over. Just gonna go straight to halftime.
No.
You guys want to hear the news?
Yeah,
Give us
let's
the
do
news.
Okay, we'll do the news. All right. First up, Darius Slay was traded to the Philly Eagles in exchange for a 3rd and a 5th round pick in this year's draft. Oh wow.
That was expected. You know, he came out on Twitter after
they signed the guy from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Trufant.
Yep, they signed Marcus Trufant. Well, Darius Slay comes out and he's like, good, you know, that's going to speed up my trade process.
Yep.
Well, then after he's traded, did you see the breakdown, the situation between him and Patricia?
Oh yeah, where he lost all respect for him, had the 2 incidents with him.
Yeah, like Patricia telling him basically he's just an average player.
Yeah.
Darius Slay is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Arguably the best.
Why do they got to – I mean, but why didn't he just come back at Patricia in that moment and be like, you talk to him
You're
there.
a below-average coach.
Right, yeah. Why didn't you throw it back at him?
Yeah, probably because he's his boss. But
Maybe, but I just think it's petty later on to pull it out. But I enjoy it as a sports fan, so I'm happy to.
We
see
need
it.
we need the talking points and
but because he was so unhappy there, it lowered his trade value, and they honestly didn't get a big haul for him. My 3rd and 5th is great, but
I think it's the age that's the problem. I think Darius Slay's about to be 30, so that limits what you're going to get in terms of draft picks in return. But
he got a deal for in Philadelphia.
They need him, so it was a win-win for Darius Slay. I mean, he gets out of a toxic situation. He gets to go play for a better head coach in Doug Peterson. And man, I think that Patricia's a terrible head coach. So I'm Team Slay in this one.
Yeah, I like it for Slay. If he's unhappy, he can go somewhere where he gets paid. And Philadelphia is a much better organization than Detroit is, coach notwithstanding. I mean, I like Peterson better than Patricia as well. So yeah. I like it for Slay. And I don't love the Eagles paying him that much, but if they got the cap room, go ahead and spend it while you got it.
It's probably good for Matt Stafford's fantasy stock too, because they're probably going to have to throw more to keep up. Trufont's good, but Slay's better.
There's your fantasy analysis.
Always looking forward to that.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun in a few months.
Oh, yeah.
How many months we have left? It's March.
It's fantasy season right now for me.
Yeah. So just 5 months.
Oh, let's back up. The XFL fantasy season was very short, but who ended up winning between the two of you?
Me.
That would be Josh.
Yeah.
Brandon beat me week 1 by like 0.7 of a point.
Still a win. A win's a win.
In a shootout, 35-34, yeah.
Golly, I thought it was going to be a terrible endeavor.
But we
put up some points.
You started putting up some points. Yeah.
You did too a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That one week you thought you beat me. The defensive touchdown.
Came back, yeah.
I'm just really disappointed the week I was going to get on with you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, so you have all off season to get ready for the weekly.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Next up, we got the Rams. So last week, they were left with a decision to make in regards to Todd Gurley on Thursday, as they would have $10.5 million become fully guaranteed at 4 p.m. on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
What did they do? Anybody know?
Get the scissors out.
Oh, yeah.
A knife. Snip. Give him the cut. Bye-bye.
They snipped him.
Oh.
Hey, but he took it well. He did take it like a champ.
Yeah, he did. He did. He got on the Twitter and he was like, "Thanks for the check."
Yeah. I mean, he's getting paid and doesn't. Yeah. He gets.
Thanks for the money. See you, suckers.
Yeah.
So much money.
To not play, but the Rams.
I mean, he did come out and say no hard feelings. Like
it's business.
It's business.
They had to.
He understood it. So
if somebody gave me that kind of money to leave, I would. I'd be all right. Thanks. I'd send him a Christmas card every year.
A big one.
Big Christmas card.
Absolutely.
$20 in the middle of that sucker.
So do you think they are going to roll with Malcolm Brown, or you think they're going to promote Darrell Henderson?
I think they're going to draft somebody.
I mean, they've drafted someone every year for the past 3 years.
They have not gotten a guy that can pass protect except for Brown. And
so you think that's what Henderson can't get on the field because he can't pass protect?
I mean, that's been the problem.
Man, Henderson was so special in college. They got to figure out how to teach him how to pass. Like they got to get him on the field.
We'll see. You don't pay your. I mean, what is it? $110 million for Jared Goff. They're not going to put somebody out there that can't pass protect or that they think that is a liability that they have to watch every single play to see if he did his job.
110? Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Jared Goff. And he's a bad quarterback. That's the going rate for bad quarterbacks.
He took him, quote unquote, he took him to a Super Bowl the season before, and so you get paid when you do that. And
Joe Flacco did.
That's a broken system, but
yeah, but the right move by the Rams. All that say, Todd Gurley was great while he was there, but the right move for now.
Yep.
Well, there's more Rams news. So they also put Brandon Cooks up on the trade block. Ooh.
Yeah. So any action? Where would you like to see Brandon Cooks go there, Josh?
I don't care. I just don't think he's that good of a receiver.
I don't
he's
think
fast.
He can't stay healthy.
Yeah, he's fast. He's got the concussion problems.
2 years ago, man, when everything was clicking for the Rams, he was fantastic.
They had the offensive line in place, where they could run Sean McVay's system, and they don't have that offensive line, and they just Whitworth. Is that their offensive tackle? That guy is older than Methuselah, and they just gave him a 3-year extension for a lot of money.
No way he plays that out.
And they didn't know if he was going to come back last year.
Yeah.
So they're in a mess.
It's weird how they went from the penthouse to the outhouse.
Don't tell that to a Rams fan.
Yeah, I mean
more to come on that later.
Yep.
I don't care about Brandon Cooks. I think they'll probably end up cutting him as well.
Really, I don't know if they owe him or what the salary cap.
Well, he came with a pretty hefty contract already on him, I believe.
Right. Well, they gave a first-round pick for him.
Yeah. Man.
Oh man,
They were
New England. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't see those concussions coming, but man, yeah, bad situation for the Rams.
Okay, the Raiders, the Vegas Raiders. It's hard not to say
the Oakland, the black hole. Yeah, it's weird, but they have built a black stadium that is very.
I haven't seen anything about the stadium
you
yet.
You should give it a look. It looks like a black Death Star. Like it's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so the Raiders signed Nelson Agholor to a 1-year deal.
So I didn't care about Brandon Cooks' news. I care even less about Nelson Agholor. But what are your thoughts on it, Brandon? Does he move the needle at all going over there where there's less target competition? Well, is there less? No, there's no less target.
There's no less. I mean, the
Eagles are bottom of the barrel.
Raiders actually have probably more receivers than the Eagles.
So you're not worried for your boy?
I'm not worried about Waller. No, Waller's going to catch the ball when he throws it to him. Yeah. I mean, Agholor drops 4 or 5 passes there in preseason, and Derek Carr will stop throwing him the ball.
Maybe.
I mean, it's
Gruden may make him better too. We don't know.
Can he make him catch the ball though?
He was a wide receivers coach when he started in Tampa, so it's potentially.
Gruden, not Agholor's, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
he was in Tampa back when Agholor was a young whippersnapper.
A whippersnapper. Yeah,
but there's something to be said about a fresh start. I don't know where Agholor grew up, but he did play college ball in California, so being back on the West Coast might be maybe he's refocused.
It's good for the lungs.
Yeah, that real talk. Yeah, that's. So there is that. The weather's a little bit better.
He's not getting better quarterback play though, right?
I can't imagine. He may get more consistent quarterback play because
they're the same guy.
Yeah, be the same guy every week. So maybe that was his problem is he didn't know who was going to throw him the ball.
No, that's not his problem.
Okay, it's just that he can't catch the football.
He's got those very brick-like hands.
Yeah. Like what's the meaning of the stone hands?
Yeah, he's dipped those babies in some concrete and.
Yeah, walking around. That's enough Nelson Agholor talk.
Yeah, let's move on. The Broncos released Joe Flacco on a failed physical designation. It's Drew Lock's time in Denver.
What a cop-out by the Broncos. They paid Flacco too much money to start with, brought him in, then give him a failed physical designation.
How much do you remember how much by chance?
No, that was last year's off season, so I don't
put you on the spot like that.
No, that's okay. It's just there's been a lot of contract information run through the old noodle since then, so
yeah, I mean, but they didn't give him a new contract, right? They just
he was a free agent when he came into Denver.
So they didn't. For some reason, I feel like they traded the Ravens for him.
Maybe they did.
But regardless, they were paying him a ridiculous.
Yeah, the Ravens were already paying him a lot. So.
But that's the same thing that happened with Jared Goff. Is he was the fortuitous quarterback that took the Ravens to the Super Bowl. Excellent story though. Ray Lewis's final year, and the defense carried him to the Super Bowl, and they paid Joe Flacco.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the Ravens have bounced back pretty well, though, so that's good.
Flacco's not even that old, I don't think, and he's getting ready to, be that stabled stallion. He's just put to pasture. So
the stabled stallion. I just confirmed. Brandon Cooks was traded for Isaiah Wynn, essentially, who now is anchoring the offensive line for your New England Patriots.
Not my New England Patriots. Let's get that straight.
But who would you rather have on your team, Isaiah Wynn or Brandon Cooks?
I mean, Wynn.
Yeah.
He's a Georgia Bulldog anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Emmanuel Sanders heads to the New Orleans Saints. Oh, the Big Easy. The deal is worth $16 million over the next 2 years.
It's a fun fit for New Orleans.
Kind of out of nowhere. I didn't think that. I assume, and they still may. I just assumed New Orleans was going to get the wide receiver through the draft, but maybe they feel like
they
the
probably
windows,
still do at some point in the draft
but
a wide
probably
receiver,
not
but
like number
not
one.
early. But they don't really have a lot of needs across the roster. Maybe on the defensive side, they've got some holes they could fill just for some more consistency in some positions, but. It's a good pickup and not a bad deal, for either side.
No, and I think that maybe it's a testament, not that it's a surprise, but the New Orleans Saints feel like their window is open for a short period of time, and so they don't want to wait on a rookie wide receiver to develop.
Yeah.
And so they're going after a seasoned guy.
They're relatively young, though. I mean, across the roster, they could do it for a while, depending on what they have. I think they believe Drew Brees' predecessors on the roster. Mm-hmm. So if he's developing the way that they're anticipating, they should be good for a while. But, Emmanuel Sanders, he may pass out when those footballs start hitting him in the hands because
he won't know what to do.
I mean, man, since he was in Pittsburgh, he's not had a quarterback that's been able to put the ball on him accurately and with rhythm. So
did he not get to play a season with Peyton? No, he came after Peyton.
Oh, shucks. Maybe he did play one with Peyton.
Well, if he did, then he could.
But Demaryius Thomas was the main guy.
Right. So here's a question for you about Emmanuel Sanders. It has nothing to do with this season. So would you call that trade, San Francisco's trade with Denver for Emmanuel, is that a success? They traded a third and a fourth.
For Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was. They made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like that was the intent. So,
but
I think they could have did it without him because they didn't throw the ball anyway.
No, I mean they didn't. They could have. I think they could have saved those picks, and maybe they thought that it was going to develop differently.
Yeah, maybe so.
But he's went for 147 yards or something like that against the Saints in last season, and every other game he averaged 38 yards a game.
Well, I mean, if there's anything we know is that you can throw the ball against the Saints. So,
yeah. Fun fact, but I like it for the Saints. I like it for Emmanuel Sanders. I think he's a viable fantasy.
Oh yeah, he'll be a value. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's all. I think that's all I've really got on that.
You guys done with that, right?
Yep.
Shut it down.
Okay, Melvin Gordon signed a 2-year contract with the Denver Broncos. It's a $16 million deal with $13.5 million guaranteed.
Why?
Why did they sign him?
Why did they sign? I mean, he.
What's reported?
He had a better offer.
He had better offers. He wanted to play in the AFC West against his old team. I hope that's true.
Who like? You want to guess who gave him a better offer?
So there was rumors the Bills.
And
they've got Devin Singletary, but he doesn't profile as an every down back.
Yeah. Maybe so.
I like Devin Singletary, but his athletic profile does not have him as an every down back.
Yeah, but I would just draft another guy as opposed to paying him.
Yeah,
paying Melvin Gordon.
But if you've got the cap space, you have to spend it somewhere.
Right. Maybe there's some knowledge he has about San Diego, about Los Angeles that he can bring to Denver.
So who's the odd man out? Is it Freeman?
It's got to be Freeman.
Yeah.
I always thought that Freeman would pass Philip Lindsay.
I'll never forget you walking up there in the third round and getting your Rolls Royce.
My Rolls Royce, and he just rode the bench for 10 weeks.
I loved it.
I thought he was.
I thought it was the funniest thing ever when you just strutted up there. Audience, if you could have seen the strut when he took his Rolls Royce and then the pick falls apart. Man. It was like Christmas morning for me.
And Michael just he was a Broncos fan. He picked up Philip Lindsay later. We were like, what an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still, he picked him on like the 8th, 9th round. He could have picked him up off the waiver wire. He's still an idiot.
Yeah. Man, that was a bad pick. I don't remember what.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as Rolls Royce in the third.
No, I'm sorry. No, that was the bad pick. Yeah. that was terrible. So,
yeah. So Rolls Royce probably the odd man out. And,
Do you like Melvin Gordon in that situation? Like, you think he pushed? I mean, he's going to be a split back scenario again, just like it wasn't in.
So it seems like what Denver does is they'll do every other series, and I'd rather see that because then you don't lose the potential of a touchdown being sniped away from you.
Right.
I think he does fine. I mean, he's going to be drafted in the 3rd, 4th round, something like that, and He's worth that, so I'd rather have him than David Johnson.
Would you rather have him or Philip Lindsay?
Probably Gordon.
Yeah.
Just because I think he's a better all-around back. Plus, you get the name recognition if you want to trade him.
Right, no, for sure. Yeah, that's true. But he hadn't done nothing since like 2016. It's wild.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley went home to Georgia just one day after being released from L.A. He goes to the Falcons on a 1-year, $6 million deal. After the offset, due to the language of the contract and his $7.5 million check from the Rams, he's due to make $11 million in 2020. That keeps him as one of the 3 highest paid backs in the league. Would you guys say this is like the biggest news from the week? Or
Yeah, I mean, all the Todd Gurley fallout would be the biggest news to me. Like just because, 2017 he was in the conversation
it's like a roller coaster, right?
Right, yeah. But since Wednesday, like after all the original news on Wednesday, this would be the big news.
Yeah,
it's like boom, boom.
So like from Monday to Wednesday, after the big
Tom Brady,
after the main huge rush of information that came out,
this has been the big.
This is the biggest one. Yeah. So,
so it worked out great because his home. I mean, do you know where he grew up?
I want to say somewhere in Florida, but
but he went to school at Georgia, obviously, and it just so happened that there was an opening there when he got cut. I mean, it really is a great fit and a great match. I like it.
Yeah, I'm a big Todd Gurley fan anyway. Me and Brandon played in a fantasy championship a couple years back, and Todd Gurley
scored 40.
Oh my goodness, it may have been 50 something. I loved it. Yeah. It literally was Christmas too. I remember I was driving back from my in-laws, and he was just racking up the points. Yeah, it was like Christmas week, and man, I felt so good. Your little Camaro, the wheels fell off of him. It was double good.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Josh and we play in several fantasy leagues together in the League of Record. I traditionally make the playoffs and traditionally flame out and lose to Josh or somebody else in the playoffs. So I'm still trying to get that championship in the League of Record. I've gotten second place about 100 times.
So outside of our personal agenda there, do you think Todd Gurley, does he get closer to that 2017, 2018 form, or is it somewhere in the middle between those and 2019? I mean, he's going to be an every down back, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to be closer to 2017 than he is 2019. So if I'm like playing...
Boy, if he even gets close to those numbers, he's going to return some value in fantasy football.
And that, think about the division he's playing in, man.
Yeah,
I love that.
Wide open. And they're going to use him as a receiver.
Yep.
It was baffling to me. Last year, the Rams just went away from him in the passing game. Why? I mean, you don't want... So I get limiting his reps, but the place where he is least susceptible to a big hit or getting twisted wrong is out in space. So why in the world would you not get that guy out there on some screen plays? Draw some plays up to get Gurley in space, because he is lethal once he get into that second level.
They got the guy from Tampa, Dirk Cutter.
Yeah, yep.
Any Tampa, or is he? Was he the Browns?
He was Tampa Bay head coach.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha,
he wasn't a big Jameis Winston fan.
Okay.
I think it was hard.
Who is?
Weren't they on Hard Knocks that year?
Dirk. I have no idea. I didn't watch it.
I think so. I remember some videos where they were just like, I didn't either at the time, but Cutter, was just like, basically, man, you suck. Like, quit turning the ball over.
Well, as it turns out, he was right. So the Falcons have stolen Todd Gurley. They haven't stolen him. The Falcons pick up Todd Gurley from the Rams. The Falcons get better, and the Rams did not get better. And I think that's going to do it for the news. Is that right?
Yeah, that does it for the news. We're done with the news. Nothing else interesting, right? Nothing cool.
Not to my
Nothing you want to talk about.
I might have missed something, but I doubt it.
We're gonna hit it later.
Yeah, bye news. Let's take a break. Let's go into halftime.
Gunners halftime.
That's right. That is this halftime. That's the halftime whistle. Usually we talk about our Twitter polls and what we got up on there. We got something a little different today. Still Twitter related, but it's been pretty interesting. Should I set it up, or should I just let you go into it, Josh?
You can set it up if you want.
All right. So Mr. Hill, He's our Twitter guy. He's very active on there.
Primarily, the other guys they get in there a little bit, but primarily,
If you see a tweet on Twitter in our Twitter account at Non-Neutral Zone 1, it's most likely Josh.
That's why it appears that Non-Neutral Zone is a Colts fan sometimes.
anytime that I show my bias, I will put my name in parentheses beside it.
Okay, that's fair. Yes.
Okay. But Josh, our Twitter guy, he got into an interesting conversation with a follower. I'm not sure if he follows or not, but he got in an interesting conversation.
I offered him to follow, but he wasn't interested.
Yeah, maybe after the end of that, well, just tell us what happened.
Yeah, so it all started with just a tweet, that I sent out after all of the fallout, from the Rams this week, because they've lost several pieces on their team, both offense and defense. Several pieces. And so I just tweet said, quote, "The Jaguars' future pick from the Rams acquired in the Ramsey trade is looking like a premium pick. If the Jags don't get silly, they're going to be near the top in terms of young teams looking to make a run."
So to clarify, what that means is you're saying that the pick next year, which is the first round pick that the Jaguars have in 2021 of the Rams, you're talking it might be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get a premium player. They're not going to be getting, they'll get whatever they want.
Right.
Essentially. So maybe they're looking at taking a quarterback. I have no idea.
Right, but for our listeners, yeah. So they're getting a top 10 pick for their trade, which would deem it a pretty successful trade.
Yeah, and it's almost guaranteed to be a top 10 pick in the division they play in. But let's carry on with the tweet. Okay. So there's the initial tweet, and Patriot Engineer, that's his handle. It's
putting him on blast
at AZ Ram fan. Oh, just listen to that. He's a
Rams fan.
Yeah, imagine that. So his question is why? Because they cut a back that was 50th in the NFL in yards per touch. You make no sense. So I tried to clear it up for this Rams fan. As a good football educator would do. I said, you lost Brockers, Littleton, Gurley, Roby Coleman, Dante Fowler. You have no first pick for 2 years, and a quarterback that isn't what he seemed to be before they paid him. Plus, they play in arguably the toughest division in football. Is that making more sense? So I'm trying to put this in simple terms for this guy.
Yeah, they lost a lot. They didn't get better. All the teams in their division are getting better. They did not get better.
So after I give him that information, do you watch the Rams? Brockers is okay. Not worth $10 million. Okay, let's just take that part of the tweet. $10 million a year for a guy like Brockers is not a bad price. It's fair. The problem is the Rams are in a cap situation. That's why they're having a fire sale right now, because they pushed all in for their Super Bowl run and then flamed out.
Yep.
Rest of the tweet. Robinson is an upgrade. NRC was cut, not lost. That's still a loss, Rams fan. Fowler replaced by Floyd. Gurley has a bum knee. Tell us something we don't know, Rams fan. Littleton was good, but not strong up the middle against the rush. Rams will be fine.
They won't be.
They will not be fine. Those pieces were key to what they do. Because when you have so maybe susceptible to the rush up the middle, but when you run the style of offense that the Rams run, you're trying to make them not guard against the run, but against the pass as teams try to catch up with you. You're set up to blitz, cause pressure when you know quarterbacks are going to be dropping back to throw. They cannot run the ball because they have to maximize the time on the clock to keep up. You're not going to be able to do that now. Anyways. So my response to him asking me if I watched the Rams. Yep, watched them go 9-7 and place third in the division. Offensive line didn't get any better. You can at least admit that your original tweet was misguided. To act like Gurley was all you lost was just incorrect. Any input, Brandon, so far?
Sometimes we get in a bubble and we live in our own world and we find facts or create facts in our mind that back up our preconceived note, like our worldview. and his worldview is that his Rams, this is their year. He's wrong.
Well, I mean, it was their year 2 years ago, and they didn't win the Super Bowl. Like, that was their opportunity. They pushed all in on that year, and they knew it was Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
They did not win the Super Bowl,
they
Rams
went over
fan.
21. They busted.
So anyways, he comes back and he says, "You declare that the Rams will be a very bad team this year." I did not say that.
No,
but it's true.
I'm gonna say that I'm not on the Twitter as much as Josh is.
He's a Twitter fiend.
Yeah, but the Rams are a bad team. I mean, like they're becoming a bad team, and the Sean McVay shine is wearing off. And this guy hasn't mentioned Jared Goff one time. Is he a believer in Jared Goff?
It doesn't seem like it, or he would have rallied to his cause when I said you overpaid a guy that doesn't look like the quarterback that you paid.
Yeah, and in this league, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance.
I mean, when they drafted Goff, I thought that Wentz was the better player, and I was very surprised that Jeff Fisher didn't take Wentz. I thought he suited more of what what Jeff Fisher wanted to do. And I think he absolutely suits what the current coach, Sean McVay, would want to do.
For sure. I'm sure that Sean McVay would rather have Carson Wentz.
Yeah. But what's funny is he paid Goff.
Yeah. Go on with Patriot Engineer. Did he educate us, or did he just pick his toys up and leave?
He picked him up and went home. He blocked us.
Our first block.
Yeah, he blocked us after I said, "Nah, I don't care what you think." So that's the opposite of sensitivity. Back up, he called me sensitive on Twitter. I'm not sensitive.
No, I want to be I got to be honest with you right here. I'm gonna side with Patriot Engineer on this one. I think that you are a little bit sensitive.
Was there any sensitivity in what I said, or
no? I think that you did
this instance.
You did a good job explaining to him why we felt the way we feel about the Rams, and with a lot of factual basis about it. But I just want to give Patriot Engineer I don't want to leave him hanging there.
Well,
you are
in the end, I offered him to follow us. He didn't. He blocked us. I tried to, just told him, makes him seem sensitive. Feel free to follow.
And I think a Twitter block is the most it's the weakest move.
Yeah, and it's super satisfying if you're on the other side of that argument, because you're like, wow, he literally just took his stuff and went home.
Yeah, especially if you're not being constantly harassed on Twitter. Like, why do you? The only reason you block,
and especially
people
when you came into the conversation, I didn't tweet it at him. He came into the conversation.
He started it.
Asked for trouble. Bully got punched in the mouth, and he took his stuff and left.
It's the ultimate butthurt move.
Yeah,
it's so pathetic.
And
how many people have you blocked on Twitter?
I've never blocked.
I've never blocked anybody.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Nobody cares enough about me on Twitter to
I'll mute people.
Yeah, you can mute them or unfollow them. But
I'll unmute people that if they're posting a lot of political stuff that I don't care to see, I'll just mute it.
Well, I just create that echo chamber.
Yeah, I just unfollow.
Yeah.
We all have our own echo chamber. It's a natural bias.
Yeah.
Just by following who we follow.
It's just better for my blood pressure if I don't see certain things when I'm trying to see. I want to see sports news. I don't want to see, things that I don't care about.
I like to have lots of politics on my news feed. Just gets me going. I'm just kidding. So we are, I guess, Patriot Engineer. If you're out there, if you're listening, we want to invite you to follow us.
Put you on blast, boy.
I am curious. So
but before he blocked us, he said useless accounts get blocked. I mean, if you're listening.
Well, he didn't block your personal account.
No, because I went back and said, I went back and poked the bear one more time from my personal account and just said all that stuff happened around the same few days. It's not just about Todd Gurley, and no response. It's been 2 days.
So the over. I wonder what Patriot Engineer would take the over under for the Rams this year is still.
You will take his money.
Still at 8.5.
I think he's got some too. Just by looking at that guy's profile, he's probably, he's a little haughty. So
Arizona Rams fan.
So weird.
Oh well. I guess that
I
does
wonder.
it.
I tried. Yeah, 1 second. I honestly tried.
It's my halftime show, but okay.
I honestly tried to look back to see how long he's been a Rams fan,
Yeah.
but I think he clears that information because the first picture on his account, if you scroll all the way back, is a Rams picture, and it wasn't that long ago. So I think he purges that information.
He's a train hopper. He's hopping
Fair
on
weather, bandwagon.
yeah, bandwagon.
There's lots of words for it.
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick scrub of the tweeter, and it appears he is a fan of the political realm. So
Yes.
we're gonna have to move on from that because
Yeah.
we can't be mixing politics on this show.
This is the non-neutral zone, but it's only sports, no politics.
We don't have the time.
Yeah.
We barely have enough time for football.
Or the energy. It just drains me talking, debating politics.
Yeah. There is no winner.
Don't let Gunner fool you, man. He's always debating me on the politic.
Yeah. I'm schooling you. Anyway, that does it for the halftime show. I passed it off to Josh because he had an interesting story to tell. But I want to ask you, the listener, if you got an interesting topic you want to hear about. We've been talking about conspiracy theories. Maybe we could hit a conspiracy theory one week.
Oh man!
But I don't know if you guys want that. You just want.
I would love it, Gunner.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, but it goes so deep with me. That's something I do dig, but we'll see.
3 to 5 minute conspiracy theory.
That's hard to do.
Just hit one of the biggest ones, JFK or something. And
that's pedestrian. I want to get something.
Yes.
well, if you
That's
get
weak
deep though,
sauce.
it takes too much time.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to dangle out some things that people may not think about or may not be aware of.
Dangle them.
Like some of the deep.
Oh, you're not going to
conspiracy
dangle them
theories.
right now. So you're saying.
No,
so
no.
listen up for next time. So
Yeah.
make sure you listen in and scroll to Gunner's halftime if you're curious.
Yeah. All right, that does it for the halftime show.
See you, Rams fan.
You guys want to answer some questions?
I would love to answer some questions.
Let's reach into the mailbag.
Oh, look, it's a mail call.
We took a pee break and now we're back for a mail call. Everybody emptied. Everybody's bladder emptied out.
Yep.
Yep, we all feeling good. Let me get this mailbag out and dig around. So many letters. Let's see, which letter should I pick up? Let's pick this one from Mark. Mark is from Riley, North Carolina. He asked, what voice do you think Mark has?
I think it's a deep voice. What do you think?
Can you
Josh?
say where he was from again?
From Riley.
Raleigh.
Riley.
He actually reached out to us about that. He was a little offended because it's the capital and we said it wrong.
It's Riley from Riley, North Carolina.
I always rag Gunner for saying stuff incorrectly, so I wasn't correcting him right there.
Yeah.
But
Riley.
I would not have said anything if I had not been
Well,
addressed on it.
it's like us saying Colorado, but a lot of people say Colorado.
no.
I say
And
I say Colorado.
All right, we're in Raleigh.
So I really don't care. Like there's regional pronunciations. I really don't care.
So you pronounce it Riley.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
that's just because I had an uncle named Riley.
Did he spell it like that?
I don't remember.
Was he a city in North Carolina?
It's just a name.
All right. What did Mark from Raleigh ask?
I just listen. Okay. I just listened to your tampering up. I'm trying to find Mark's voice. I just listened to your tampering update special, and Brandon mentioned that he thought DeAndre Hopkins' target share would decrease in Arizona. I would love to hear you discuss this further and see where you all agree or disagree on his 2020 ranking. That's Mark from Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right. So let's talk about ranking first, and then we'll talk about his target share. I went back after we talked about it a little bit, and because the move kind of caught us off guard, so we weren't fully.
I'm sure it caught Hopkins off guard. Like,
But I went back and he is still he's in the top 4 wide receivers.
oh yeah, absolutely. I think he's still top 3, top 4, maybe. When we sit down and break down
the
the
first
numbers.
tier, Michael Thomas, and Michael Thomas is at the top, but then in that first tier behind him are Devontae, DeAndre, and Tyreek. You can
Julio
put Julio
Jones
there too.
belongs in
Yeah,
there, so.
I'm putting Julio below those 3 though. So
Really?
he's at least in my top 4.
Yeah, I mean that's conversation for another time about Julio, but
Yeah. So, but that rankings wise, I have him at wide receiver.
yeah, I mean he'll be in that
3,
second
4.
tier.
Yeah, second tier behind Michael Thomas.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, Michael Thomas stands
I
on
mean, going in, he's going to be on his own, and I had them in the same tier before he left Houston.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think it's not even close. So I think that he'll take a bit of a hit because of target share. And the stats on it or the metrics on it, he had a 30. Let's see here. He had a 31.56% target share in Houston, and the next highest target share behind him. Granted, his receivers don't play all the games because they're constantly hurt, but the next person taking shares from him was Will Fuller at 15%. That's the only other receiver in double digits in target share.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of that's because he's injured, though.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But he wasn't competing with anyone for catches, whereas in Arizona they had two. Sorry, let me pull my numbers up here. They have two players at 20%, Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk, who are going to take targets away from him. So they had a 20% target share. So 40% together that he wasn't dealing with in Houston.
So here's my thing, though. It's kind of a chicken and egg situation. I think that Hopkins' target share is because he's that good. Like, he demands those targets. Larry Fitzgerald's not getting any younger. Christian Kirk is moving into the slot, and that's where he's going to be the
Kirk's also
best.
not getting any younger either. Like, Larry Fitzgerald is literally getting older.
Aren't we all?
Okay. But he's already old. Well, that's my point. Like, I think that was kind of implied. I didn't know.
We are collecting these phrases, right? You got to play to play.
Yeah.
What?
He just said he's literally getting older.
Yeah.
We're collecting these phrases, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every week we're going to have a segment about something that Brandon said the last week.
Something dumb I've
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. Last week it was
You got to play to play.
you got to play. If you can't play, you can't play. This week it's
He's literally
getting older. So
So you're right. Larry Fitzgerald had 104 targets last year. There wasn't anyone on
how
Houston.
many did he have the year before that?
Um,
Guarantee it was less. It was more.
yeah, that's great. 113.
It was more the year before that too.
168.
Okay, it's dropping, buddy, and it's going to continue to drop. And now
113, 104 is not nothing to see.
well, when you have less and less, the margin becomes less as well. You know what I'm saying? Like you have less targets to lose. When you go from 160 to 113, it's because you had 160 to start with. It's like me losing weight. I weigh 250. It's easy for me to get to 230. Like, not easy for somebody to get to 230 that weighs 235, 240, whatever it is. So
For sure. So also in that same time frame is Christian Kirk last year had a 14% target share, and this year it went up to 20%.
Christian Kirk is great. I'm not going to say that he's not, but
His target share is growing, and if Larry Fitzgerald is going to remain on the roster, which he is, he's going to siphon off targets. I'm not comparing Larry.
he's not going to soften off enough to make a difference.
So I don't think he's going to make DeAndre suddenly a wide receiver.
It's also
10.
the quality of the target. Like, DeAndre Hopkins is going to do more with his targets than what Fitzgerald does with his. Because
we can agree on that.
yeah, so the fact Hopkins is a top 3 wide receiver talent in the league aside from fantasy. He's going to demand his targets. He's going to utilize his targets. When he gets the ball within his catch radius, he's going to catch it because he has one of the highest catch radiuses or catch percentages in the league. And then yards after the catch, he's explosive.
Yeah. So he's. Do you think that he got 148 targets last year? You think he gets 148 targets?
I mean, I can't pinpoint 148, but it'll be within that range, between.
You think he gets 150 targets?
Between 140, 150, somewhere in there.
I mean,
That's about where he'll be. It's probably his average after his rookie season. I did a piece on nonneutralzone.com. You can go check that out about his numbers with the Texans. But I think
what I will say that benefits DeAndre is that he will have, because there's other receivers on there, he may actually have a little bit softer coverage in some cases.
He's still getting the number one corner.
He's still going to get number one
coverage.
corner, but it's not going to like.
If anything, it benefits Christian Kirk.
But it's going to benefit him when he does get matched up and he gets some one-on-one coverage. He's going to be able to do more potentially after the catch.
If a defensive coordinator plans on single coverage for DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to get burned.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was actually surprised. I looked at the numbers. The amount of attempts between Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray wasn't that far apart. I thought.
Yeah,
it would be
I was
a
wondering.
difference.
I didn't check that.
It was very.
And
it wasn't a large number.
Even though Deshaun Watson he's a top quarterback. He's an excellent quarterback. Kyler Murray might actually throw a better ball than Deshaun Watson.
Maybe so. The only thing with Murray that hurts him and hurts his offense is a lot of times he gets carried away trying to scramble around and he loses a lot of yardage because everyone in the NFL is fast and he's still adjusting to that. Yeah. And he may make a big step with that in his second year, and Kingsbury is going to help him with that.
And some of that comes with time. Well,
also, you got a weapon like Hopkins. He's going to create a lot of separation between him and the cornerback that maybe Fitzgerald's definitely not doing at this point in his career. And Christian Kirk was not necessarily an outside receiver that was being forced into that role.
Allow him to go in. Yeah.
He gets to go into the slot. Murray's going to have a lot faster release time this year than what he had last year. So,
so to answer your question, Mark, I don't dislike DeAndre, and I would still draft him as high as wide receiver 2 even. Like I might have him even over Devontae. I don't know, but I think that it's just going to affect it in a different way. I don't know that he gets 150 targets, even though Cliff Kingsbury wants to pass it all over the lot. I don't know if he gets all those targets, but I think that he'll get quality.
He's gonna get his share, for sure. Even if he drops to 140,
right.
That's
what I'm saying. So he's. I'm by no means I'm saying stay away from DeAndre Hopkins. I like him and I want as many shares of Arizona's offense as I can reasonably get.
Yep.
So, what's our next mail call?
Okay, Dell from Michigan. Is that okay? Did I say it right? Is everybody satisfied? Or are you going to bust my balls about that?
I've not spoke to Dale. Look, I'm not busting your balls. That was coming from Mark and Raleigh.
Okay.
Michigan. So what do you think that Dale from Michigan sounds like?
All right. I don't think I should do my Michiganer accent. Out of the remaining free agents in the market, who is the best available, and any predictions where they might go?
There's 2 that I can think of. Famous Jameis, and I know Josh would love to see him go to the Patriots.
I wouldn't mind. It doesn't matter to me.
He's run out of options though because everyone's kind of getting full up. Where there's the Patriots are the only team without a starting quarterback. Is that? Obvious.
Unless you count Oakland, I don't think they're
right. They're not sold on.
I think they're all in on Carr, but
and San Diego or Chargers
and Washington. Washington is also in a situation.
Yeah, they're kind of weird. So I don't know. I don't know I don't know the landing spot for Jameis, but he's one of the famous ones that's still left.
Famous.
And then the other one that has and wherever Jameis goes, I don't actually think that he has fantasy implications because he's out of Bruce Arians' offense. Like there's no way that he deserves a roster spot at the beginning of the season.
He wasn't on rosters last year in Arians' system, so you're right.
No, he was on rosters.
Not drafted.
Maybe he wasn't drafted.
He was picked up off the waiver wire in our league of record. Okay. I know
he was on my The other one who's defensive player is Jadeveon Clowney. Did I say that right?
Jadeveon Clowney, that's correct.
And I wouldn't mind if he headed on down to the Tennessee Titans. We need an edge rusher, explosive guy, has some history with Mike Vrabel from Houston Texans day. So that's my guy.
I'd love to have him on my squad too. Come on over to Indy. Put him with Buckner, Houston, Darius Leonard.
That's weird that he hasn't signed anywhere.
He may be just looking for the right fit. He's a high-profile guy. I'm sure he's got plenty of options. He may just be taking his time.
Yeah,
Heck, maybe quarantined.
could be.
You know, we don't know what the situation is, but he's a good edge rusher. Yeah.
I think he's the best available. That's why I'm surprised he hasn't signed.
He was a number 1 overall pick, right?
Yeah,
out of South Carolina.
Man, that video of him blowing up that Michigan guy.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
That video was viral, but man, he did that all season. Like he would just be in the backfield.
But you know the have you seen the story of the play before that? He was called for some garbage. I'm trying. I don't remember exactly. But I want to say he was called for like a garbage holding penalty or something.
Offsides,
not holding. Yeah, something stupid. But
Tyler Simmons was onside.
That was the next. That was the next play. So it was. That was fun. Yeah. And other free agents who haven't signed, Rashad Perryman. I mean, that's not really noteworthy, but he's a wide receiver who will find a landing spot.
It's crazy though, because it seemed like there was a lot of hype building for him at the end of the year because of what he did, filling in for the injured receivers in Tampa.
Yeah,
maybe that's just because we're fantasy guys and we saw it, but
yeah,
I'm proud of NFL executives for not overpaying him.
So if NFL executives you're listening, great job.
Pat on the back, guys.
Yeah,
and also thanks for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate.
Subscribe on your favorite podcast.
We appreciate all of you, but we really appreciate you guys.
Okay, let's move on. Steve from Georgia. Did we hear from Steve last week?
Yeah, I assume it's the same Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Steve.
It's nice to see you again.
Throw that Georgia accent on.
What's the deal with the running back?
Goodness gracious. Steve, don't be offended.
If you're from Georgia, we apologize.
Goodness.
Sorry. When he says, what's the deal, I feel like I should do a Seinfeld.
Right.
What's the deal with the running backs being so expendable? Will the Cowboys regret paying Zeke?
I think they already are.
Yeah, I assume Steve's referring to Todd Gurley news that dropped later on, and I agree. I think that the Cowboys, especially they look in the landscape, they think, "Daggum, like no one." I mean, I don't know if a running back's going to get a long-term deal over $10 million ever again.
Oh, it'll happen.
I mean,
they fall in love with their guys, man. They draft them.
So what's it do for Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry's waiting on the monster deal.
Was Vrabel the coach that drafted him?
They drafted Henry?
Yeah.
No, they've had new coach like every year.
So not the same kind of attachment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. I mean, and so like if you get a bidding war on the open market, Derrick Henry is going to get paid.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to watch because
he got $10 million though on the franchise tag, right? Isn't that what he gets?
I have no idea. I don't know what
I think that's what it was $10 million that he was getting this year. But yeah, I think they're already regretting it. I think that Jerry Jones, he looks at it the last time they were in the Super Bowl, the last time they won, it was all about the triplets, Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. And I think that he needs that same setup. Like that's his way. And so he's locked up Amari Cooper. He's locked up Zeke. But now he's kind of hamstrung himself where he can't afford to pay that key piece, Dak Prescott. So, and they had you'll be able to tell me the name, the running back, the rookie they had last year.
He was
from Memphis.
Yeah, Pollard. Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard. So he played really well, and I thought they should have just let Zeke stay down in the Bahamas or wherever he was and
just kept dropping the number.
Yeah, because they had a replacement. They had a guy that was playing really good football, and they could have had their triplets. They could have locked up both guys last year.
Yeah, it's wild because they wear out so quickly. I mean, like the wheels fall off, and
you pay the guy all this money. When you do that, you're going to give him the ball because you're paying him that much money. Well, it's kind of a catch-22. Yeah. He's going to be worn out by the time he gets to the end of that deal.
Man,
and so that's my concern. We talked about before with Jonathan Taylor, the rookie coming in from Wisconsin.
Already got all those miles.
He's already got all those miles on him. He's going to come into a team that wants to do that. So you're going to get a year or two from him if you're lucky. And
I think what you may see with running backs are shorter term deals for guaranteed money.
Yeah, maybe so.
And maybe that's
risky too because they're the most violent position in football. Between that and linebacker, they're the two most violent positions. So if you give them the guaranteed money, any play could be a season or worse. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's true for every position, essentially. I know that they're more violent, so they're touching it like 300 times a season or whatever.
Well, not just that, but the nature of what they do. They're going after that physicality. They're trying to get into the contact when they go through the middle of that line, because once they break through that initial wave, they're in the second level.
Man, it's gonna be interesting to see how this Derrick Henry deal plays out, and then how the Christian McCaffrey is how this is gonna play out, because he's in the same boat that Le'Veon Bell was with how he wants to get paid.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be fast.
A lot of touches on McCaffrey as well.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, his snap count's ridiculous.
Man, I pull for the guy, but
yeah. To answer your question, Steve, I think if the Cowboys don't already regret paying Zeke, they will. They will. And I do you think so? Here's actually an additional question. Do you think that he plays out his deal? Was it 5 years and $100 million, or not 575, whatever?
Zeke?
Yeah.
How old is Zeke? 24?
24. Actually, I think it was six years for $90 million, right?
That's the end of his career anyway.
Yeah.
He'll be 30.
Yeah, played to 30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you think he plays it out before he gets cut?
I think he'll have to show that he's still got something left in the tank by the time that gets there. So I think he'll have to. It'd be different if he's going to be 26 or 27. He may not, trying to get that last mega deal, but he got his last mega deal right here.
Yeah, franchise tag is $10 million for the running back. So that's what Derrick Henry's slated to make.
Yep.
So
that's good money for him.
I wouldn't be mad about it.
I know they want a longer term deal, but I'm not going to sneer at 1 year, $10 million either.
No,
especially if you look at like the situation going into next year, there may be more landing spots for him. So I'm not sure what that looks like.
Derrick Henry?
Yeah. But maybe not with the depth of the running back class, this year and next coming in. You've got Chubba Bubba, and what's the other guy's name?
Etienne.
Yeah, Etienne, yeah.
And so many running backs are going to that scat back, that souped up scat back position. That's what they like. And
more and more teams just want to run a split backfield and have that guy and have a hammer in between
Henry's
the tackles.
Old school.
Yeah, can't NFL not for long.
Well, let's close up the mailbag, but I want to give a big thanks to everybody who wrote in. And if you want your question answered on the podcast, be sure to email us nonneutralzone@gmail.com or send us a message on Twitter @nonneutralzone1 or on Facebook, facebook.com/nonneutralzone. Send us the question about anything and we will answer it here on the podcast. And I'm closing up the mailbag. Zip. Where do you guys want to go next?
Let's go into Fantasyland.
Fantasyland. Ooh.
Fantasyland.
We open up the gates.
Yeah, we got one little
The
point to
pearly
before we get into the
gates.
lightning round.
And ahead of us, the trail leads to Fantasyland. What's your Fantasyland?
What we're talking about.
No, what's your real your Fantasyland?
It is. This is it.
Is this
fantasy
it?
football. That's
Fantasy
my
football?
Fantasyland.
I was about to start singing Ludacris.
It's
Is that a Ludacris song, Fantasyland?
let's hear that. Let's hear a little bit of that.
Yeah,
What's your Fantasyland? Come on.
Come on. No, I don't listen to Ludacris. I'm sorry.
But you did. I don't listen to Ludacris.
Never.
Come on.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I want to lick you from your head to your toes.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, all right, now.
That's
What's
Okay.
your fantasy?
That's your fantasy? Licking me from... Oh, man.
You guys are disgusting.
Okay. What move are you most looking forward to seeing the fantasy result for? Josh.
Yeah, for me, it's Todd Gurley going to Atlanta.
A lot of Todd Gurley talk.
Yeah. There are a lot of touches up for grabs. They cut.
That's the song? Give it to me now.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit us with the chorus. Yeah, I don't know it. Why is this Fantasyland? Just doing that in general? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, now you know.
I feel enlightened. I feel culturally enriched. I appreciate it.
I'm here for you. That song is from 2009, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, throwing it back. No, it's older than that, man. That's from 2003.
Either way, I didn't listen to it.
So
Todd Gurley.
So now that we've showed our age and taken up your time, yep, Todd Gurley going to Atlanta. Wow, this show just went off the rails, ladies and gentlemen.
1999.
This song came out in 99?
1999, 21 years old.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Do you got any fantasy results you're looking forward to seeing this year?
I'm excited, and I would willingly draft Tom Brady. Maybe not at the price that I would have to pay, but I'm excited about Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers, having some wide receivers and tight ends to throw to in Bruce Arians' offense. Give me some of that. That's my fantasy.
Okay.
Bruce Arians doesn't use a tight end very often. But.
Yeah, but I think that they're going to blend the Tom Brady offense with the Bruce Arians offense.
If Bruce Arians gives an inch, I'll be surprised. He is not the man that's going to give in to Tom Brady.
Yeah, well, they didn't bring Tom Brady in there to be a plant or just to be a robot. Like, they brought Tom Brady in there.
So to go into a system that works and throw the ball to the players that are really good at catching the ball?
They
didn't bring him in to do that?
They brought him in to throw.
Not to change the system, right? Like to do what works?
Yeah, to do what
okay,
works.
Cool.
Yeah. But I'm thinking that he did some stuff that worked before.
With Bill Belichick in a different system. This isn't Bill Belichick's system. Bruce Arians is going to run his offense, not Tom Brady's.
I don't know. I just think that whenever you start interviewing them and you hear them talking about it, they're probably going to talk about blending their systems together. I imagine they would keep Bruce Arians.
I haven't heard
verbiage.
that yet. Can you pull that up?
No, when you start hearing those interviews. Cool. So where do you think that Gurley falls? Like, you're excited about him going to the Falcons. What do you like? Why does that wet your whistle? Just because he's close by, so you can. The Falcons are not.
I'm just excited to see it with all the touches that are up for grabs with them cutting Devontae Freeman, and the offense is already pretty explosive. Matt Ryan does some good things, and the wide receivers can open up the offense where Gurley can work underneath.
Who's he got to compete with? Does he have to compete with him?
Nobody really. I mean, they've got whatever the guy's name was that drafted last year, but he didn't show anything.
Brent Hill. Hill.
Yeah, he's been in the league forever.
Right.
Like he's not a threat to Todd Gurley at all. It's I can't remember his name. Whoever they drafted, he was out like pretty soon. Like they didn't even give him an opportunity. So.
Oh, Ito Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's we had to look him up, so he's not exactly a household name.
And it's Brian Hill. It's not Brent Hill.
Yeah, Brian Hill.
I've only seen B Hill because I saw someone play him in fantasy at the end of the season.
He was a big letdown for people that spin up on him. I was lucky. I picked him up the week before the player got hurt, just as like an insurance kind of deal, and thought it paid off. It did not.
Pretty sure Cousin Dan paid about $92 for him.
A lot of people did. Like it was toward the end of the season, so they just dumped all their fab and thought they had a guy that was going to be that late season darling that pushed them into the.
That scratch off didn't pay up.
Did not pay off, and he did not endear himself to the fantasy community when he got on Twitter and said, "Ha ha ha! Don't care. We won."
Oh man, I hate it. Like that's what Arizona did that last year when they said David Johnson was going to play, and then they played Edmund. Oh man,
yeah.
And then they went on a losing streak. That was so glorious.
Matthew Berry loved it.
Oh yeah. Oh man, but like embrace it. Like it makes people more of a fan. So when teams or players embrace it, like they should. Like, it's part of the fabric. Just like they should embrace betting on it too.
Ooh, my eyes. What do I see? I see some lightning. And where there's lightning, there's
thunder.
Let's hit the lightning round, guys. Are you ready?
Ready.
Lightning round.
Okay. And remember the rules. Yes or no only. No discussion. That's for thunder, right?
Okay.
First up, is Todd Gurley on the Atlanta Falcons a second-round pick in the fantasy for 2020?
Yes.
Yes.
2 yeses. Great. Is Melvin Gordon a better fantasy running back with the Broncos?
No.
That's one no and a delayed.
I'll say yes.
A delayed yes. Okay.
Based off last year's numbers.
Lightning round.
Emmanuel Sanders or Randall Cobb, given a similar draft cost.
I'll take Randall Cobb.
That's surprising. I'll take Sanders.
Okay. Yes or no only. Sorry, guys. You got to answer that in a yes or no.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Does Stephon Diggs finish as a top 12 wide receiver next season now that he's moved to the Bills?
No.
Yes.
Okay. A no from Brandon, a yes from Josh. With Diggs gone, will Adam Thielen, is that right?
No. It's
Thielen.
Thielen.
You know,
You recognize.
traditional pronunciation is an I sound if the I is last in names, but I don't know the origins of that name. I don't know if it's
It's
Anglo-Saxon.
probably Scandinavian. He's a Viking.
And then it should be Thielen. With Diggs gone, Adam Thielen, I begrudgingly say that. Will Adam Thielen finish as a top 12 receiver?
No.
No.
Great. Michael Thomas versus the field for wide receiver 1.
I'll take every field over Michael Thomas at 1. It's easy.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Regression.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great.
In terms of, I mean, there's no question that he's a wide receiver 1. But in how they're going to finish at the end of the season, you got to take the field.
So that's a yes
Yes.
on the field for both of you.
Yeah. And we had a lot of chalk. We agree on too much, Josh. Well, you're getting smarter on me.
I was surprised that you took Randall Cobb over Emmanuel Sanders. I know you're real hyped up on that Saints offense.
I just got the memo that the temperature dropped in hell.
We're finding stuff to agree on. This is weird. So I do love the Saints offense. I am super high on Michael Thomas, and as you know, I love me some AK. Two things concern me with Emmanuel Sanders. One is health.
Is this your thunder? Are we calling it?
We're parking the thunder here for a minute.
Well, 1 second.
Okay.
Where do you think that the Bucs' number 1 tight end will land in the rankings at the end of the year?
I mean, so the answer would be the multiple choice answer would be tight end 1, like in the top 12 or not in the top 12, right? Or like in the top 12.
Well, I think it's more top 6, top 5, top 4.
The Bucks.
If
O.J.
you feel
Howard.
like Tom Brady's bringing if he's going to have that inflection on the offense,
I don't think it's gonna. I think he's gonna have it's going to be a merging of the systems. I'm not saying like there's too much.
Well, that's why it's not number 1. It's top 6, top 5, somewhere in there. If it was Tom Brady's system, it'd be number 1. So, because that's what Gronk was for years.
Well, also Gronk was the best.
Howard.
But
Howard
Gronk,
is a great athlete. You
right,
can't
but
say
Gronk was the best tight end in football too. Like
Howard was drafted to be the future at the tight end position when they took him. So you can't say that it's not a great tight end.
I have to hash it out, but I think that I would comfortably say tight end 1, which you probably don't agree with.
Do you think top 5? I mean, that's fair at the tight end position. If you think it's going to be like
top
that.
5, but you think it's going to be somewhere in the middle because Arians doesn't use him at all. So I'm not saying it's going to be Brady's system.
You're saying that. So Howard was number 10 last year when they didn't use him.
O.J. Howard finished tight end 10?
Pretty sure.
Okay, so that's new knowledge. I didn't realize that you were going to drop the thunder on something that there wasn't.
That's just the top of my head.
Okay, no,
knowledge.
I gotcha. So Howard finishing top 5. I mean, I like Kelsey, Kittle, obviously.
Better or worse than Waller?
Oh man, I love me some Waller. Not worse than Waller. Oh man, but if Derek, you don't know who's going to be the quarterback there. I'll take him over Waller.
So you got him at 4?
No. All right. So Kittle, Kelsey,
Ertz.
I gotta pull my tight ends up.
Hooper.
Mark Andrews, we forgot about. We haven't.
Andrew.
Oh man, I don't think he's going to get in the top 5. No, I don't have him in the top.
He's got to be in the top 6 if it's going to be the kind of blend that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't.
I just want to make our Thunder something that we disagreed on, and
well, we disagreed on Emmanuel Sanders, and I was prepared to make my case for Randall Cobb, but
I don't think you're going to be as passionate about it. But we can go back to that. Go ahead.
No, you hate Tom Brady, so that's fine. So I mean, obviously, your first 3 tight ends are Kelsey.
I just know. I want to be clear. I know that Bruce Arians is hard headed, and he's old. He's set in his ways. He's not letting another old man come in and tell him what to do.
So do you think he's almost? Yeah. Do you think? I mean, Tom Brady's almost as old as he is. Do you think that he was on board with Tom Brady coming to Tampa?
Sure.
Right. So you think?
But it's his scheme they're going to run. It's not going to be Tom Brady's.
Do you think that Bruce Arians puts some gives Tom Brady a little bit of credit for winning all of those Super Bowls?
I'm sure he gives him some, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you think he's just going to walk in there and treat him like any other rookie quarterback?
He's not a rookie. He'll treat him like a veteran.
Yeah, so you don't think he's going to give him like a little bit more of an ear? Like he would maybe listen to what Tom Brady says as opposed to if Andy
He'll
Dalton
listen to
came
what
in
he
there?
says and then tell him to do what he told him to do.
Maybe so. So if that is the case, then we will have some fun dynamics.
I'm actually
throughout the
looking
season.
forward to some drama with that situation.
If it plays out like that, then we will get drama. That'd be I would love it. I mean, I would like.
I think it's gonna happen. I think you're gonna love it because Bruce Arians is not gonna let Tom Brady call the shots.
Whenever he goes into that locker room,
but he should be used to that. If you remember, Bill said players play. I don't ask their opinion.
You got to play to play.
Players play. So,
I think it's going to be more of a blending than you do.
I think we've already seen it though, because Tom Brady going to the Bucs, he was saying he wanted AB there with him, and Bruce Arians has already squashed that and said, I don't want AB.
Right, but that's not like specific to Bruce Arians. Most coaches would say like, I don't want any part of that crap.
I don't think most coaches would have the kahunas to say that to Tom Brady just because of the way the media is about Tom Brady.
Sure, I mean that's a fair analysis in itself. That most coaches may not buck up to Tom Brady about that, but they wouldn't have to buck up to Tom Brady. They could just that's just about AB. Like that's not even necessarily bucking up to Tom Brady.
As early as it was in the situation, though, Tom Brady hadn't even signed his deal yet, and Bruce Arians like, no, we're not bringing him in. Yeah.
So, but again, speculation on our part. Like, is that confirmed that Tom Brady asked Bruce Arians to bring in?
That was the report from the media.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
that's all that anybody can go off of except for Tom Brady.
That could be one of those conspiracies that we're going to talk about, Gunner. One of the
Perhaps.
Yeah, one of the
probably not, but
the media.
Probably not a conspiracy. Usually, where there's smoke, there's fire.
That's what they say. So I don't know where the tight end falls. I don't know that that's my only metric on if they're blending the systems, and I think that.
So you think Ronald Jones is going to catch 80 or 90 balls in?
No, I think they need to find a scat back. They need to find a scat back. They need, like, honestly.
I just don't see the pieces where your logic is making any sense with Tom Brady blending the offense. They don't have that because it's Bruce Arians' offense. He has his pieces in place.
Be interesting. I mean, it's just gonna be interesting to watch, man. I know you hate Tom Brady. We can tell,
I mean,
man.
that's not got anything to do with this conversation.
Is that because of Patriot Engineer? Did he like turn you off to Tom Brady?
No. That guy is a Rams fan in Arizona.
Is it because Tom Brady because you couldn't get around Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl?
We did.
Enough?
Well, that fell apart quick. A lot quicker than I expected.
That one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I look, I didn't like Tom Brady preventing Peyton Manning from winning more Super Bowls either. I'm a Peyton Manning fan.
That has nothing to do with what's going on right now. I don't understand what you're working toward.
I'm just calling out your disdain for Tom Brady.
I'm talking about Bruce Arians. Tom Brady's just a piece of it. It doesn't matter what quarterback walks through that door. Bruce Arians runs Bruce Arians' system because it's proven.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis. I mean, so Tom Brady's probably going to throw to the other team less than Jameis did.
We'll find out. See how he fits in that system.
So let's circle back real quick. So you like Emmanuel Sanders over Randall Cobb?
I do.
Okay.
It's not like a huge gap, but
I think the ceiling's higher. For it, the two things that concern me for Emmanuel Sanders is his health. Because I mean, obviously, like the fact that he worked back from an Achilles injury is heck
it's
of
incredible,
impressive.
especially because he came back at a good. He still had that
Super impressive, really quick still.
Yeah.
But I think just opportunity for Randall Cobb. None of those other guys are going to stay on the field. He'll be the number one guy replacing DeAndre. So there's a lot of targets up for grabs.
I think it's very similar as far as Amari's going to draw coverage. Michael Thomas is going to draw coverage. To me, it just comes down to Sean Payton and Drew Brees.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me. So
it doesn't sound like we're in the neutral zone there.
Great. That was very fun.
You're so feisty about everything to all things Tom Brady. I love
Me?
it. No, I'm talking to Josh.
Oh.
He gets all in his feels late at night.
let's not. I mean, I wasn't being emotional about it. I was just asking you the numbers, like tight end wise. Where do you think Howard falls? Where do you think that the running back falls in terms of receptions? Those numbers aren't going to go up the way that they would in a Tom Brady system in New England. They're not he's not checking it down. That's why I don't see it, man. Like, I don't see how he's going to be as successful as he was in New England, because Bruce Arians runs a West Coast style of offense that Tom Brady's not going to be.
What was it called in the Belichick system? Was that not
the Tom Brady system?
Yeah, I mean, but it was a West Coast style of offense. Like, it was pass heavy, like pass constantly.
No.
It wasn't pass heavy?
No.
Not in the last. I mean, well, sorry.
In spurts it was.
Correct. But
so Bill Belichick's system molds. It's like an amoeba, man. It molds with the personnel that he has. Bruce Arians gets the personnel to fit his scheme, where Belichick is a savant, and he will change his system according to the pieces that he has.
That's why he's won Super Bowls, and Bruce Arians.
Belichick is the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
So
no disagreement from me.
Yeah. I mean, that's the difference. Yeah. That's why it's not about Tom Brady, it's about Bruce Arians. I know Tom would hate to hear that because it's all about Tom. But
I think the gates are closing on Fantasyland. So sad. We have to see it go for one more week. But that was fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye, Fantasyland. It's like Never Never Land, where you fly away and go back to bed. But you can go back there anytime, right? As long as you believe and you stay young. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not.
Peter Pan.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, it's late for all of us.
Yeah, it's late here, guys.
I don't even know what day it is with this quarantine stuff.
Hey guys, thanks for listening so much. If you want, give it to me now. Yeah, we got some background music now, finally.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We can't no more than 5 seconds because we can afford that.
Yes.
Okay? But that does it for this episode of the Non-Neutral Zone. Stay tuned. Later this week, we have the Short Show Spectacular. We got a couple dropping to you this week. So stay tuned. We got some
trying to bring
content.
you that extra content during the quarantine and the slow times for you guys.
We got it for you. We got you covered, so don't worry. Chill out. Good luck, everybody, during all this mess. We love you all. Subscribe on your favorite podcasting app.
New content on the website?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Do you want to plug your articles?
Nope. Just go check it out. Go look at the website. Find out what we've got there for you.
Mock Draft 2.0 is up. Check it out.
Anything else that they should... You want to give them a little teaser? Like, kind of like a... Like, you know, when you see a little bit of cleavage and you're like, oh, you want to see a little bit more. A little bit of a tease, so they want to see more.
Joe Burrow goes at the 101.
Oh. Breaking surprise. A little teaser that's not website related, but you should definitely go to Twitter and check out the video of me smoking Josh in the 40-yard dash.
That's up, yeah. We talked about that in a
I think
couple
we
episodes.
covered that, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure, in case they're just jumping on for the first time.
Well, there were a few episodes where Josh swore up and down that he would smoke Brandon, so I guess we should give it due diligence that the video's up and...
Yeah, let people see for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 211 followers on Twitter, so...
Yeah, let them see. Let the listeners, you can go on Twitter and see that video. And that wraps it up. We're done. Thanks so much for listening. You made it to the end. If you made it to the end, send us a secret message that says, what word should they throw out? Belichick? Just type Belichick in a reply on Twitter.
That's kind of hard to spell. They might spell it wrong.
B-check. B.check.
Posse.
Sure.
Yeah.
Part of our posse. They made it to the finish line.
All right. Well, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen and don't fall into the neutral zone.